Are you entertaining? Are you hosting a party? Are you trying to get family together? What better way than making an antipasto platter? I know when we're hosting events or entertaining that we have so much to do, so throwing something together like this is really simple and easy. It just brings out the creativity side in yourself and what flavors and things that you like on there as well. You can interchange things quite easily, take some stuff out, throw some more stuff in that you really love. You can make this little, big, and it's still the same amount of effort regardless. So that's one of the things that I like to do when I'm at Christmas, or if I'm going on a picnic in the park, I can bring this with me, and it's like everyone feeds themselves. We have proteins, we have carbohydrates, so we're meeting all the criteria that we can, tie ourselves over till our next big meal that we're gonna have, okay? Down here is some of the ingredients that I've got. When I look at doing an antipasto board, I always make sure that I have cheeses, and sort of my criteria that I like to go with is a hard or a firm, a blue and a soft. Always those sort of three, depending on what your preference is, will depend on which ones that you want to add. I've got gorgonzola today, some cheddar, and a really nice soft piccolo cheese here. We also have 2 dips, and again, anything that you love. We've got hummus and we've got a whipped blue colour today. I like to have some olives or pickled chilies or any sort of long shelf life things that you'll have, like sun-dried tomatoes. Those sorts of things work really well. The saltiness, the sweetness and stuff like that goes great with the meats and the cheeses, and they all kind of mesh together. We have some prosciutto, and then we have some suppressor here today as well. You can add things like wagyu bresaola, any sort of sliced meat that you like, mortadella, those sorts of things are great and handy to have. I'm also going to pop in a little bit of fresh fruit. You can use dried, you can use nuts that have been nicely toasted and tossed on top of there as well. And I'm going to use some stuffed peppers, which I really love. Okay, so let's get underway. The first thing that I do is I'm going to map out my cheeses, because they're the things that are going to be cut and taken away from first, and then everything from there is kind of just filling in space, so we don't have any big open space. So the first thing I'll do is get my blue cheese down, and I'm going to be very delicate with it because it is quite soft, which means it's nice and ripe, and then place that in one of the corners. You don't have to sort of line everything up so everything fits perfectly as a square. I think it's really nice. It's kind of rustic and it doesn't look like it's being handled too much, so it's some of the things I like. Sometimes if we try too hard, that's what our food actually looks like, so just relax. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut our cheese. I like to cut it on an angle, so we've got triangles, but then that way we also get to stack it, and then it gives us good height to our antipasto. We're just going to go opposite sides to our gorgonzola. And then our cute little round piccolo cheese. There's some more here. Again, don't try to make it all even and uniform and stuff, because that's when it's going to stress you out when things aren't, okay? And then we're going to pop our dips down. So we pop our big ticketed items first, and then we can put our fillers in between that, okay? So dip, we've got our hummus. And you can play around, like, oh, I don't like it there, you can add it there, you can add it there, it's completely up to you. I kind of like it here, a little bit off center. Our olives and tomatoes can go down a little bit later, and now we're going to get our meats down, okay? I want to show you this amazing tip and something really simple and easy to do that I've learned recently, how to make salami flowers. And you can do this with any sort of round sliced meat, so long as it's not like too wide and round. Something around this size, a little smaller or a little bigger works well as well. And we're going to pop that into the wine glass like so. And then you're just going to keep going around until you fill the outside. It also holds the meat in a tiny little section of its own. And when you pull a piece off from the top, it still stays pretty after you've taken the first slice away. Once you're down to 1 or 2, obviously, we'll just let it flatten the board, but that looks really pretty too. So we'll pop a few down like so, and going back over the top, and then I just kind of push it in the inside, and so this is what it currently looks like, okay? And then, we're ready for it. We're going to choose where we want to put it, and we're going to pop it upside down, hold it for a little bit, and then twist and remove. So we've got a pretty flower. We'll do that one more time for you, just in case you missed it the first time. you'll get to see it the second time around. So, you can do it with any glass. It doesn't have to be a wine glass. It could be just a tumbler. It could be anything you have in the cupboard, so long as the mouth of it isn't too wide, otherwise you're going to need lots of meat to sort of fill that in. And push down on the outside, and you'll find another space you might go over here, next to the blue cheese. And push down, and then lift up. So you can see there I've got some pretty flowers. It's not that much harder work to do as well, which is great. Then we're going to get our sliced prosciutto or serrano or whatever other type of meat that you're interested in. You can find it really nice and flavorful. And then this one is really good because they clip in between sheets. Otherwise it will all rip and tear. And then you just kind of place it, okay? Again, try not to play with it too much. And if it breaks or it rips, that's fine because they are quite big pieces, as you can see. So you can tear them into smaller pieces, just don't go too small, otherwise it doesn't get much height on the board, okay? And then it kind of looks really flat. I'm going to lay the next one out. And I'll put a couple more down. Crackers, you can decide if you want crunchy ones, ones that have fruit dried through it. I think today we've got some thick and almond ones, which are really, really tasty and I really like. You can use wafer crackers. We've also got some puff twists, so puff pastry twists, which are really, really soft and flaky, and they'll be perfect with the dip. At Christmas time, I add fresh cherries to it, because cherries are in season, and I just think they do it really, really well as well. Sometimes I'll make some pate and put some pate on there just for something a little heavier and something that's full bodied and got like a bit more rich flavour to it, you know, without being very decadent. Now that we've got the meat down, we're going to pop the greenery down. So we're going to cut some of this little baby parsley, which is super cute. We can also plant it later on if we want to use it all as well. You can use things, any greenery, things like rocket, any baby herbs that you can find, maybe some sorrel, some chervil, anything that's sort of got a big pop to it, and just fill in the gaps because anything you put on now is going to be small items. So if you see open board, it just looks blank, okay? Now we're going to pop down our stuffed peppers and just scatter them around so that way if you have a person sitting across from you, they have access to them as well as people sitting around the other side of it. And then that way everyone will get to try it. So we've got tomatoes, olives, any mix of olives you want to put on top there. We're going to cut up our grapes, so try and keep your fruit whole as possible because it looks better and clear, and then it also will stop it from drying out and looking really old quite quickly. It will also stop flies from wanting to get onto it straight away if you are outdoors. You can always just bring a little tea towel and pop a little tea towel over it as well to prevent that from happening. Come prepared, that's what I've learned, okay? Once that's down, then I find space for the crackers. So I'll pop these ones down, these are nice and long, and then rest on the cheese, so that cheese is working to my advantage. Any of the broken bits, they are mine for tasting. You always need to taste everything that you're making. And then we can pop down a little line of different type of peppers down from here. And just let it fall. Okay. We might move the cheese out a little because it is getting squashed. Good. Spread some other stuff out. You can see I didn't really play with it too much. I worked out where I wanted everything, got it down there, and look how gorgeous that looks. I think you could just make something exactly the same as this, if not better.